All right, welcome to the Daily Close, where we bring you last week's alpha today. Not to be confused with the weekly close. But I'm joined here by ALTCOINS Bid and BASXD Buddha for today's discussion. And this time, it's going to be a little bit different. This time, it's going to be a rapid discussion, only covering the most important points that we need to know before considering these projects as your next addition to your cryptocurrency portfolio. Today, we'll be discussing Avalanche, the fastest smart contracts platform out here, Cosmos, the open, scalable, and interconnected economy of the future, and Rev Token, the in-game currency for the NFT-based F1 Delta. Now, we are very bullish on these projects and interested in these ourselves. That being said, though, of course, we must put this in. This is in no way financial advice. You see, we aren't financial advisors, rather only cryptocurrency advocates. So rather than just remember that you may lose some or all of your money. So do your own research. Finally, we want to know what you think about this video style compared to our previous videos as well. So in effort to improve, we'd like to hear honest feedback. So please comment below. And of course, hit that like button, subscribe for us for more content, and hit that bell button to hear about the next hot picks of the week on the Daily Close. But yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. ALTCOINS Bid, let's hear about your project.
Cool. So I'm covering Cosmos today. The ticker for that is Atom. So yeah, basically, what is Cosmos? Cosmos is what's trying to do is aiming to be the internet of blockchains. And as you mentioned in your intro, Crypto-pleb, it's also aiming to be an open, interconnected economy of the future. It is a layer 1 protocol, so some people might call it, a competitor to Ethereum, but I see it more as similar to Polkadot, not a competitor, but more of an interoperability blockchain with a fast-growing number of apps and services being built on it. And they use something that's called an IBC, which is the inter-blockchain communication to connect all the services and apps, enables people to swap and exchange across all of their decentralized blockchains within that ecosystem. So for example, you've got Cosmos, you've got Akash, you've got Osmosis, et cetera, where you can exchange freely between all these different inter-blockchains. Currently, they have about 250 apps developed on the blockchain, and about $66 billion in digital assets locked. So why do I think this is interesting, and why have I personally invested in this? So firstly, let me share my screen here.
Yeah.
Can you guys see?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So firstly, it's sitting around about a 3.1 billion market cap right now. If you compare this to other layer 1 blockchains, it's relatively small, especially some of the bigger ones. You've got ADA, which is in the tens of millions, Polkadot as well. So this is in around a $3 billion market cap, a $3 billion market cap right now. And it's got a lot of room to grow. There's been a lot of talk in the market about Cosmos and what it's doing and sort of what it's building. And I still think it's severely undervalued. There's also a big narrative about the environment and being environmentally friendly, and with Bitcoin mining and proof of work. It says on the main site here, it's operating on proof of stake with 99% lower carbon footprint than the majority of other blockchains right now. It also has a 7-second transaction time, which is super quick. I've used it. It is super quick. To me, it seems quicker than 7 seconds. And you've also got almost $0 fees. Well, you got about 1 cent. On Osmosis, I've been operating on 0 fees, which is great. But I think on the Cosmos blockchain, the inter-blockchain, it's actually 1 cent. Yeah, I mean, all these put together, I know a lot of other blockchains are doing that as well. But what makes Cosmos stand out, compared to other layer ones is that it's coming out with a unique AMM. So I'll touch upon this later as well, but basically gravity DEX, which is basically an AMM with an order block. So it's sort of combining, like centralized finance with decentralized finance too. So that's pretty exciting. Also, you have all the other big projects. I'm sure you've heard of them before, like Rune, Thorchain, which is a decentralized liquidity protocol. You've got Luna, so Terra, which is one of the most used and traded stablecoins right now within the whole of crypto, which is with the UST. And you've got Akash as well, all built on the Cosmos blockchain. So very, very exciting projects, up and coming projects, not sort of like micro caps, but more sort of like mid caps that a lot of people have their eyes on now, built on on this Cosmos blockchain. And they have a lot of the technology that they used. They've actually pioneered using something called the Tendermint, I believe, which a lot of different blockchains have been using. Even centralized exchanges like Binance have been using this Tendermint sort of technology as well. So they're the pioneers in using this technology, which is one of the most secure and one of the fastest technologies out there. And just going back to the first point that I mentioned about the market cap, it's got it's yet to experience real parabolic growth. I think with Polkadot and Kusama and all these different layer ones, Solana, for example, they've had 20x's, 30x's, 40x's, sometimes 100x's on growth. Cosmos is yet to see that, which tells me that there's a lot of opportunity still left in this project. And then I had a look at their GitHub actually, and came across their roadmap. So they've got a lot of exciting stuff coming as well. And one of them I mentioned is the Gravity DEX. The beta release is coming very, very soon with the Delta upgrade. As I mentioned, it's different. This is the AMM, another AMM for Cosmos, which is different because it allows cross-chain swaps as long as you're in the Cosmos ecosystem, so inter-blockchain, cross-chain swaps for digital assets, and also the sort of order block. Now, I know that Radium has done that in the past, and I've personally used Radium. Wasn't really a big fan of that. So if they can get it right, then that it would be a massive step forward, I think, for DeFi and automated market. What's AMM stand for again? Automated market makers.
Maker.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's very, very exciting. The Vega upgrade is as I mentioned, it's not really a competitor to Ethereum, but it's more of an interoperability blockchain. So they've got the bridge coming to Ethereum, so you can transfer ERC20 tokens and Atom tokens, seamlessly. And then you have the Theta upgrade, which is more focused on security and interoperability across all different blockchains. The Rho upgrade here with the NFT modules coming out. This allows for NFTs to be owned and managed on their blockchain, which I know a lot of other layer ones have been doing recently. And then the Lambda upgrade, which allows for staking derivatives, interchain staking, which will be pretty huge. So those are the exciting factors and the project that I wanted to cover today. Cosmos, very, very bullish on it. I am personally invested in it, but as Crypto-pleb said, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. But yeah, I'm very bullish on Cosmos.
Oh, very cool. I mean, that's a pretty quality project. OX Infinite Bid. I mean, I probably buy into it as well, but I think I actually will buy into it pretty soon. It sounds like something that's going to pop up pretty quick, but that's quality alpha. So thank you for that. I mean, maybe we can just quickly move over to BASXD Buddha. What about you? What do you have?
All right. So what I have is actually the Rev token. I know you just mentioned that a second ago. Let me just show my screen real quick, if that's okay. You guys see this?
Yes, we can see it.
Yep.
All right. We got that top bar that's kind of in the way, but we'll sort that out. So Yeah, talking about the Rev token, and right now I'm looking at CoinGecko, but basically this is the in-game token for F1 Delta time. It's a game by Animical Brands, and it's also going to be the in-game currency for another game coming out called MotoGP. MotoGP is basically the biggest, oldest motorsports championship. But you know, you can kind of tell there's sort of a theme to this. Looking at the CoinGecko page, I mean, right now it's at 10 cents. I wouldn't worry too much with the actual price action. If you look how it's been performing the past year, it had a spike back in March, which, you know, it's sort of when the NFT boom happened. And so virtually everything basically skyrocketed at the time. But if you were to sort of see it sort of general trajectory, it was back at like 1 cent to 2 cents in November. Things started to pick up in December. And right now it's around 10 cents, which I actually expect it to go higher. But more than the actual price action, I want to talk about the game F1 Delta and how Rev Token is used. So F1 Delta is a sports car racing game where you set up your own workshop and basically play these games. So this is what it actually looks like. You're in the website, and this is the workshop itself. So you have all these parts to it. You go into the workshop and you add different components to your car. It could be different equipments like power unit, turbocharger, brakes, transmission, suspension, whatever. You can do the same thing for your team, but also your driver, and basically add components like different glove, different suit, different helmet. And every year, because it's a sport, just like any other sport, things change, right? So you have changes in drivers, changes in teams, changes in the actual content. Same way you'll have like different players play for like, you know, English Premier football teams, right? For like Manchester City or whatever. Like you have teams and players rotate. You have these changes in F1 as well. So there's going to be constant evolution. So it's not a stagnant game. But what's super attractive about F1 is their play to earn model. So basically, you can make money just by playing the game, right? This is the whole concept around play to earn. Everything in the game is ownable. The tracks are ownable. The parts are ownable. The drivers are ownable. And the key thing is these items are scarce. So, you know, the NFTs, scarce typically raises demand, and the actual price, you know, grows in value. It's kind of like fantasy football, except you actually own your players and you can trade them and stake them, or stake them for rewards. We'll go into staking in a little bit. But there are loads of parts to collect that are needed to actually play the game. You need to collect all these pieces or buy them to play the game. So, you know, what actually happened back in around December to March is the game picked up and people were buying parts left and right, sometimes selling them. And what's important is that people are now speculating worth in the actual in-game assets, which afterwards they just accrue in value. So it's been attracting a lot of insane money. Let me show an example of, I'm just trying to show my screen. How can I get this thing out of the way? I want to show another tab. All right, whatever. So
Shift tab. If we do Shift tab, go to yeah, you got it.
Oh, is it Shift tab?
I think it's Shift tab.
Control tab. Oh, Control tab.
Control tab.
Got it.
That's it.
So much easier.
Yeah.
All right. So back in December, this was the highest paid NFT at that time. I mean, right now we have the whole Beeple thing, but back in December 2020, F1 auctioned their first track in the game for $223,000. It was a Grand Prix of Monaco, basically. It was the highest selling NFT at the time. But you guys remember the guy who bought or who paid the $69 million to win the Beeple auction, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? This Metacoven, that same guy is the one who bought this $223,000 track. But this isn't actually the first one he bought. This is actually the second. Well, one wasn't the first one. I don't know if it's second, but it wasn't the first item. He bought more items in F1. So I mean, he's been buying a lot, but you can expect NFTs in this space to grow. There's obviously other utilities to this. Another aspect in the F1 game is it's not just the actual track, but all these things are ownable, as I mentioned, but they're also NFTs. So you can actually stake them. You can stake these NFTs and earn Rev tokens as reward. So I'm not showing anything right here at the moment, but for example, you purchase a car and you stake it to earn Rev. So just again, by playing the game, you can, let's say there's a car you're not using, you can stake it. Depending on the rarity of that car, you can get Rev tokens in return and just make money. It's super cool. It's just another way to make money just by playing the game. And it's so valuable. I think this is probably one of the most attractive aspects to the whole play to earn model. As you know, everyone in the cryptoverse loves staking and loves getting interest. Another aspect of this game is time trial. I don't know if, yeah, so you have to play the game, you can just hit play here. And basically there's no visual effects yet. It just tells you like the result of the actual, I saw a few videos, but it tells you the actual result of the match or the actual race. So based on how good your parts are, you might end up getting like, 15 plays, 10 plays, or whatever. Just like I guess like kind of like fantasy football, right? Where based on the how good the players are and how their scores match up and their qualities match up, you'll get the result of the game. But with these, I think it's on the first page, but with these time trial events, you can also get rewards. This is another aspect. You get, so you can get Rev tokens, 20,000 Rev tokens, trophies, and keys. Keys is another way to basically, in the past, keys were used to actually mint NFTs in the game. So every one of these has some kind of utility to them. Yeah, I think it's just super cool. So, I mean, this is the game itself. One thing I do want to talk about is the actual company behind them, which is Animoca Brands. Is it shift control? There we go. This is about, sorry, this is an actual article about staking. I'll put this in the, we'll share this link with the audience in the description below later. This actually shows you more in detail how to stake. But Animoca Brands, I'm not sure if you guys heard of them before, but they are the biggest gaming company in crypto. I won't go into their full history because it's pretty massive, but Animoca Brands is a spinoff of their original company, Animoca, that developed and released hundreds of mobile games. So now they're not only trailblazing game development in crypto with their games like F1 Delta. Another game they have is the Sandbox with metaverses. It's already gotten pretty big. You can buy and sell stuff on the OpenSea, open marketplace. But Animoca Brands is also investing and acquiring a portfolio of leading projects in crypto, such as, again, Axie Infinity. This was covered in the last video by Crypto-pleb. And this is just popped off recently, right? That's one that they invested in as a company. They bought a massive share of Sky Mavis, the parent company of Axie, years ago. But they've also invested in Dapper Labs, which is the company behind CryptoKitties and NBA Top Shots. Just as an example, you may have one Harmony here. You have Super Farm. I mean, OpenSea. They're not just building games, but they're actually investing in the space, NFTs and gaming. And I mean, if you want to stay on top of the NFT-based gaming and innovation in crypto, you should definitely follow Animoca because they're spearheading these two different narratives in crypto, which is true digital ownership with NFTs and also play to earn. You can also follow the founder, Ye Sui, and the CEO of Animoca, Robbie. I listened to a few of their interviews. They're really, really smart, really innovative people. But yeah, one other thing to keep on the horizon is that I mentioned earlier is Rev is also the utility token in the in-game currency for another game called MotoGP, which is this. I don't actually have the link to the site or anything. It's still in, I guess, being created. but MotoGP is basically the oldest motorsports championship in the world, right? So it's a similar concept to F1, where you have NFT collectibles and in-game rewards. So I mean, this article is back in February 2021, but yeah, it's going to be launched by Flow, which Flow is originally created by Dapper Labs, a company behind NBA Top Shot and CryptoKitties. So this is yeah, it's created by Dapper Labs, but with Flow, but sorry, let me rephrase that. It's launching on Flow in that platform. But Rev will be the in-game currency for MotoGP. Yeah, I mean, this quote by Yatsui, the founder of Animical Brands, "We are very excited to begin launching MotoGP Ignition in the coming months, and are absolutely thrilled to be the next major sports brand on the Flow blockchain after the success of NBA Top Shot." And I mean, and we all know how big NBA Top Shot became. So yeah, I mean, I can go into this rabbit hole quite deep, but I'll also share this article in the link description below. If you guys want to check out more with Rev and F1 ecosystem, all the links will be in the description below, the F1 Delta website, the articles that I mentioned. And of course, you can buy the Rev token on decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, or you can just get them by playing the game. Full disclosure, I've not actually, this isn't a sponsored review. And I've invested in Rev in the past. I've taken profit. So I've not invested now. I kind of got out before this whole market retraced back to what is now our bear market. But I'm a huge fan of NFTs, and I definitely want to see them grow in the gaming in the future. So I hope to share more updates like this with you guys. Yeah, in the future. So that's a bit for me.
That's perfect. That's good. BASXD Buddha, that's a really interesting project. NFT based, games, and sounds like something worth playing, and definitely something worth investing in as well. Hopefully our viewers will also feel the same too. But like I said, we'll put the links in the description below. But okay, maybe I can go over to my project now. And in my project, I'll be talking about is Avalanche. Okay, thank you. Actually, I'm gonna share my screen. Give me one moment. And all right, so let's see. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yes. So for me, I took interest in Avalanche, and what Avalanche is. I'm sure you guys might know, but for the viewers, it's a high performance, scalable, customizable, and secure blockchain platform that boasts some of the highest speeds. Actually, if I go over to the website here, I mean, with a low cost and very green, and they actually have a comparison with some of the leading other blockchains out here on the market, and they are here on the way. I mean, their transactional throughput, how soon it takes, how much they can process transactions per second. It's just it's not comparable to its peers. I mean, it's absolutely leading right here with 4,500 transactions per second, and its finality speed being at 2 seconds. So this, this platform, it moves quick. But just to kind of get back into, what Avalanche is started with Ava Labs, which is led by Emin Gunzer. I don't think I'm saying his name right, so you're gonna have to forgive me for that. But it's actually a well-backed project, which is backed by Galaxy Digital, Bitmain, Initialized Capital, NGC Ventures, Dragonfly Capital, and there's actually quite a lot more than that. But just go a bit more detail. I mean, this project targets 3 main cases, which is building an application-specific blockchain spanning permissioned private and permissionless public deployments. So you can put dApps onto this platform, and also that's the next point here: building launchable, scalable, decentralized applications, and then building arbitrarily complex digital assets with custom rules, covenants, and riders. So these are smart assets. But it's I think it's probably best to think about this platform as something that's highly scalable. It is so very low latency, very seamless transactions. It's very secure. This one point I found quite interesting about this platform is that it can uphold safety, but not liveliness. Guarantees even when the attacker exceeds 51% of the platform, because it's the first permissionless system to provide such strong guarantees. It's how it's set up actually makes it more secure than a lot of its peers. As before, it's decentralized. It's very governable, democratic. It enables everyone to connect to the network and participate in validation. And also it's very interoperable, and is designed to be universal, flexible architecture with a multitude of blockchains and assets across the entire ecosystem. And so, this entire platform actually promises quite a lot, especially for the future and especially even for now. Why I thought initial things I thought were pretty cool is that I don't know if you guys have ever heard. Have you guys ever heard of initial litigation offering?
No.
Probably not.
No.
ILO.
ILO. This is a whole new thing that they're pumping out here. Actually, I'll probably just jump over here and make it easy. So, initial litigation offering is a whole new concept. Essentially, Avalanche, they started offering this to retailers, to retail investors, and this way, people don't have to, if they don't have the capital. So if you sue somebody in civil law, it's very expensive. It costs a lot of money. A lot of people don't have that money. So what people can do is that they can finance the cost of this by using an ILO and basically securitize the probability of them winning the civil lawsuit or not. And so, like, for example, it's a financial strategy in which you stake capital in for some return. If they lose the civil lawsuit, then you don't win. If they win the civil lawsuit, then you win a portion, because you're staked into that into the outcome of these legal proceedings. And so, like, yes, in a sense, you have to, this kind of marketplace, this kind of idea allows people to finance something that's already so expensive and difficult, and also gives people who are interested in law and look into these matters, and give them a way to maybe do some speculation and jump into the project. And I thought this was actually pretty cool. I'll send this link in the description below. But this is actually one of the more interesting points about this project that I found. Other than this, with the roadmap for Avalanche, it's already been, actually, I'm gonna go all the way down here for the roadmap here. It's already covered quite a large amount of milestones. They've already created a bridge for ERC20 tokens for Ethereum as well. They have, so actually here, this is what they've completed so far. So this is what I'm talking about here. The initial litigation offering was first launched here. And then, as you can see, they plan to just continually upgrade and enhance the platform to continue to be very competitive with its peers, bring up its, upgrading its Avalanche wallet for users, hold their funds, and just so much more. So, I think overall, I think we should look at the price. It is going down here. It did have this on the, let's go into the max, but for this project, it definitely did have its high, like most of these guys have, before having a little bit of a dump before pre-March, and then it kind of took a little bit more of a hit from there. But I think for what this project offers, I think we're just at a good time to buy, because I expect the speed, the throughput, the new type of way or avenues that are allowing people to tackle this cryptocurrency market, like with ILO as well, just gives it can only go up, in my opinion. And I thought this is going to be an absolute winner. Its market cap's quite huge already, so it's actually really well established. So if there's anything This is kind of like something you might want to dollar cost average in and put a little bit in, and maybe you can reap the rewards down in the future. Of course, do your own research. Again, I'm just advocating for Avalanche. Definitely not sponsored by them, but yeah, just for how quick and what this project's bringing out, which is quite new, I thought it'd be something worth talking about. So this is what I'm interested in. Okay, so
that's awesome. Yeah,
and I stop my share here. Yeah. So I mean, we went through quite a few projects here. So we got actually about maybe say about 7 more minutes or so. Kind of have a quick chat. I mean, how do you guys feeling about the market in general so far? Wow, that's a very long silence. Everybody had an opinion at the same time. Can't speak too quick.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was waiting for ALTCOINS. I thought he was going to say something, but no. The market, and I've been keeping an eye on the actual charts for a while now. I mean, it's dipped a bit last night, but I mean, I think we've said this in past videos. We are in sort of a crabby, like just small range. I would say small range. It's quite a long range for Bitcoin, ETH, and all these other altcoins trading. It's hard to say. Like, I mean, look at the actual trend. It looks like there's going to be some further downside. I see a lot of articles and for a lot of people speculating that there's going to be at least another dip. And
did you see that? There's one like ETH about how like it's an upgrade that's coming in. I think the version 2 that's coming up. Some say that it's not going to be as spectacular as people expected as well too. So I wonder if that's going to take a yeah. Like some people thought it's going to be revolutionary, but it might be blown up a bit too.
No, I think that's like going to be massive. I mean, proof of stake is going to fundamentally change how the ETH is created, right? Minted. Right? They're going to basically offboard proof of work. It's going to minimize the carbon footprint, just like Infinite Bid talking about how Cosmos is 99% less carbon footprint than other proof of work L1 platforms.
Believe me, I think it's gonna be big too. I think there's just a few people. I think it was CoinDesk. I can't quite remember. I can find the link. They're saying something about maybe it's not going to be as big as they hoped. So there's a little bit of doubt in the market, but that's just the usual FUD we go through, aren't we?
Is that in terms of price action?
I think it's just talking about the actual like technology upgrade as wasn't as good. So let me find that and put that in a link below because I think that might be an interesting read. But fundamentally, the upgrade is going to be massive. So I guess for our viewers, always remember that don't let the fear, uncertainty, and doubt cloud your judgment.
Right. I mean, I read another article recently about how Ethereum settlement layer is being more and more used, despite the price action in the recent weeks. Like the amount of companies, amount of like institutions and technologies using Ethereum as a settlement layer is just exponentially growing. So on proof of stake, I know it's gonna decrease the amount of time for transactions to go through, and all these things. I think price action is kind of just a byproduct of the network Metcalfe's law, right? So I think maybe not right away. I don't know. Maybe by the next bull run. But it's definitely something to.
Yeah, it'll pay itself off in the future. It's just a slow, steady climb up. All right. What about you, Infinite Bid? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. Really, I think the news that I think proof of stake is not going to come out this year. It's probably more likely early next year. But I think the London hard fork is, I think the date is set for August 4th. Typically, it's always by the rumor seller news. I think in the short term, I think we'll see a little bit of a move to the upside. But yeah, I expect us to potentially come back and test this the level that we've held recently again. Yeah, I mean, with the lows that we've just had recently, we've been holding it pretty well. You see a lot of on-chain analytics. You know, the people that are accumulating Bitcoin right now is continuing to increase. The supply shock is continuing to worsen. So I think if we do see a bit of downside, it'll probably be a bear trap. We'll probably see, you know, like a wick down to, like, if we're talking about Bitcoin, you know, 20, 28, 27K, a move back up. I do still think we will move back into the 40s in the next couple of months, 40Ks. And then we'll have to play it from there. I mean, it could be a bull trap. I'd really start getting bullish on price and things again when, you know, we close above 50K, 50, 51K BTC. That's probably when we'll see new all-time highs. But right now, yeah, still in the crab market, still holding the range.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of upside in the short term. I think the bulls have really taken a bit of a beating in the past couple of months. You know, every single bounce has been pretty weak. Market structure is looking pretty terrible, to be honest with you. But yeah, maybe some short-term upside here.
Spot. Oh, that absolutely makes sense. Well, all right. Well, I think, you know, that basically wraps up today's discussion on 3 of our top projects. We expect great things from them in the future. You know, next week, Monday, Japan Standard Time, because we're based in Tokyo, we'll be publishing our next video on our next top picks, and we hope you all will be there. And as always, you know, we aren't financial advisors. We are just cryptocurrency advocates. So investments are fun, but you can also lose all your money, and nobody wants that. So this video is for informational purposes and will never amount to more than information and a little bit of fun. So if you like what you see, hit that like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you love us, please hit that bell button to receive notifications on when we hit or when we publish our next video. But until then, yeah, may the pump be with you.
May the pump be with you.
May the pump be with you.
Good. All right, boys. See you guys next week.
See ya.